This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 12th day of August in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here is what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali this afternoon announced that Foreign Minister Hugh Todd has tested positive for COVID-19. Todd, who took the oath of office last week, informed the president of his positive test result, and he is now in isolation. In a statement, President Ali announced that he has advised all members of his cabinet to undergo COVID-19 tests. Additionally, the Ministry of Health is working along with the Foreign Minister to do contact tracing.
I have advised ministers to work remotely until they receive the results of their tests. I have made a commitment to conduct the affairs of the government transparently, and there is no greater issue that requires transparency at every level than in the way we address the COVID-19 pandemic.
Minister Todd attended meetings of the cabinet and was also part of the president's delegation that held talks this past weekend with the Surinamese president and foreign minister. During the photo sessions after the meeting with the Surinamese team, Todd, along with the two presidents and the foreign minister of Suriname, all removed their face masks. Todd was positioned just next to President Ali. The foreign minister was also among the guests at Saturday's inauguration ceremony for the president inside the National Cultural Center, where more than 800 persons were seated. The foreign minister also held meetings this week with foreign diplomats in Guyana, including the U.S. ambassador and the British High Commissioner. President Ali today said his new government is taking a holistic and comprehensive approach in fighting COVID-19, adding that increased testing and provision of additional protective gear for health workers are priority issues. Guyana has recorded more than 600 cases of COVID-19 since the first case was recorded back in March. More news coming up in a moment.
Tired of long lines? Register with MyGTT at mygtt.co.gy. That's mygtt.co.gy to view and pay your bills from anywhere. Enter to win an Amazon gift card worth $25 or a bounty voucher worth 5,000 Guyana dollars when you sign up today. GTT, do more.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. Following the announcement by the President today that the Minister of Foreign Affairs tested positive for coronavirus, the President, the Vice President, and a number of ministers got tested at the President's office. The tests are expected to be fast-tracked, and they could know the results as early as tomorrow. The Vice President was scheduled to hold a media conference this afternoon, but was forced to cancel that event after he learned of the COVID-19 diagnosis of the Foreign Minister. Since being sworn into office last week, the government ministers have met several times at the President's office. Additionally, they have all been meeting with their staff members, hosting meetings with diplomats, and have even been hosting outreaches in a number of communities. All of the ministers, including the Foreign Affairs Minister, also attended Saturday's inauguration ceremony inside the National Cultural Center. While all of the persons in attendance wore face masks, there was hardly any physical distancing before and after that event, as the ministers posed for photographs with their well-wishers and supporters. More than 800 persons attended that inauguration ceremony indoors. 3 persons were killed in a smash-up this afternoon at Lurie Souvenir on the east coast of Demerara. According to the police, the accident occurred just before 6 o'clock this evening and involved the Toyota motor car and the Canter truck. The bodies of 2 of those who died were pinned in the car, while the third body was pitched onto the roadway. There are reports that the car suffered a blowout of one of its tires and flipped several times along the roadway, ending up in the pathway of the truck. A number of persons were also injured and have been hospitalized. The police force is investigating the accident this evening. Let's tell you now that the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit is working along with the Guyana Rice Development Board and the Guyana Revenue Authority as it probes the 1.5-ton drug bust in Germany in a shipment of rice from Guyana. Today, the Deputy Head of KANU, Leslie Ramalala, explained that the probe has so far identified the day the shipment left Guyana and the stops made before the shipment eventually reached Germany.
Divulge more to you to see exactly what other information we have. I would prefer to wait on the investigators to give me a thorough brief on that, and before I could give you a definite position if the narcotics was loaded from Guyana or it was more of a rip-on, meaning that as the container, as it did say, was in transit in another country and the narcotics was placed here.
While not divulging additional details, Mr. Ramalala explained that the shipment was offloaded in another country and stayed in that country for 6 days before being loaded on another ship for the final trip to Hamburg, Germany. He said part of the probe is also looking to see whether the narcotics was loaded in Guyana or at the other port before the shipment went on to Germany.
What we've known so far about this shipment is that the container originated from Guyana, and yes, it was packed with rice from Guyana. The vessel sailed from Guyana on the 25th of May and went to another country where everything was offloaded, including the container in question. That container stayed in that country for 6 days before being loaded onto another vessel and then onto Germany. So those are the things we're looking at this time. In terms, we know the date, we know the container number, we know the shipper, we know which wharf it was loaded from, we know the ship, and we know the journey or the route of the container. We know that for sure.
The KANU official also said it is unclear whether the container with the rice was scanned before the shipment left Guyana. All of that will form part of the investigation.
Because you would appreciate this is in excess of 2 months we're looking at. All right, 25th of May is when the container left Guyana. We don't know at the time when it was scanned, if it was scanned, what date was scanned, when it went into the wharf. All of that we have to now take into consideration. So there's a lot has to be done to really get down to see exactly what happened to get to the bottom of it.
The bust was made in Hamburg, Germany on Monday as the authorities there followed up on a tip received from an anonymous source. The cocaine bust is considered one of the largest to take place in Germany in recent time. The shipment was expected to go on to Poland at its final destination. The total number of active coronavirus cases in the country has climbed to 412, with 21 new cases being recorded in the past 24 hours. Of the 21 new cases, 14 are women. The Ministry of Health has not released the locations of the new cases, and the ministry has also reduced the number of on-camera reports by its officials on the coronavirus situation in the country. Instead of daily reports, the officials have been told to only do reports twice per week. Region 9 continues to see an increase in its cases. The total number of active cases in that region has climbed to 102, with the results for several tests still outstanding. The numbers have also been climbing steadily in Region 7, with several new cases in the mining community of Aranca. Health officials are concerned that persons in the two communities are still not following the COVID-19 guidelines, and there is still cross-border movement with the neighboring countries of Brazil and Venezuela. Both of those countries have seen a skyrocketing in their cases. The Exxon company today announced that more than 2,000 Guyanese are supporting ExxonMobil Guyana operations, representing 55% of the total workforce of the company. ExxonMobil Guyana's direct workforce grew to 155, more than 50% of which are Guyanese. In a statement today, the company said capacity building is an ongoing process for ExxonMobil Guyana and its direct contractors, with more than 100,000 hours of training provided to Guyanese staff as of the first half of 2020. Approximately 80% was in the areas of professional, technical, and craft trade training. More than 50 Guyanese have trained internationally in countries such as Brazil, Canada, Singapore, Trinidad, and the US. The company said despite the challenges of COVID-19 in the first half of 2020, over 14 billion Guyana dollars was spent locally. More than 600 Guyanese suppliers were used for services ranging from foodstuff to engineering. Across the Region is coming up next.
Spend $3,000 in fuel at Falls Gas Station between August 3rd and September 30th and get a chance to win over 100 weekly prizes, or $3,000 in our recently renovated supermarket and you can win weekly prizes and one of 2 great food hampers in our summer promotion. At Falls, we provide a safe environment for you to shop, and you can choose from a wide range of products at unbeatable prices too, along with excellent service, of course. So shop now at Falls and make this a summer to remember.
We give thanks for real. You spend all that money on your watch. How much time you spend with your son? So much money in the club. How much you spend with the ones you love? The simple things are your blessings.
Cheese, please. Remember Tyrus Riley, this you know we aim to please. The music will never ease. Cheese, please.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
Across the region right now, the main opposition in Trinidad and Tobago, the United National Congress, has hinted that the absence of international observers has contributed to its defeat in Monday's general election, and that it will be making its position known on several irregularities in due course to the Elections and Boundaries Commission of Trinidad and Tobago. The communications manager of the Elections Commission in Trinidad announced that the UNC had requested general recounts in a number of areas. The Prime Minister had indicated that invitations had been sent to the Commonwealth and the 15-member CARICOM grouping to send observers, but the observers would have had to arrive in Trinidad in time to undergo a 14-day quarantine period. He said that the regional and international observers had indicated that the venture would be too expensive and that his administration had decided against providing assistance for fear of being regarded as trying to influence the observers in their duties. In Jamaica, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced that September 3rd will be the elections in that island. Speaking in Parliament last evening, the Prime Minister said nomination day will be on the 18th of August. He said the government believes firmly in modernizing the institutions of democracy. In calling the election at this time, he said the government is not being unusual in practice. In keeping with his promise that no state of public emergency would be in existence during the election, the Prime Minister had earlier moved a resolution in the House of Representatives to end the states of emergency across Jamaica. Holness, in making reference to the novel coronavirus pandemic and the economy, expressed confidence that Jamaica is on the right path towards recovery. He also highlighted some of the achievements of his administration. In the last general election, the governing Jamaican Labour Party won 33 of the 63 seats contested, with the remainder going to the People's National Party. And finally tonight, international news. The damage caused by last week's deadly explosion in Beirut continues to hamper health care in the Lebanese capital. The World Health Organization assessed 55 healthcare facilities in the city and found that half of them were non-functional. 3 major hospitals had to close and 3 more had to reduce their capacity following the blast. The WHO also warned that in some facilities, COVID-19 prevention measures were not being adhered to. More than 200 people died and more than 6,000 were injured in the blast, according to the city's governor. The explosion was caused by more than 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate stored unsafely at the city's port. On Tuesday, people in Beirut marked the moment the blast hit exactly a week earlier. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. Gordon Mosley reporting.